Hi, so Charlie giving you a midweek video here, and I've titled it "How to Trade Out of a Drawdown." We were doing this subject in the trading room the other day. We've covered it off a few times of late because it's important. It's an important subject because you could let's say this is your equity curve, and once it comes down and then breaks to a new low like this, a bit like a chart, then you could be in some sort of drawdown, and a drawdown is unlikely to be. I'm not talking about having a losing day or a losing week. More likely a slightly longer period, maybe over a month or so, whereby you've been taking a number of trades, but just for whatever reason, it's just not working for you. You're having maybe more losers than winners, and your winners just aren't giving you enough bang for your buck, so to speak. So therefore, you go into this drawdown period. Now, every trader goes through drawdown periods, but it's a case of just how you go about getting back up to that equity high. All right. So I covered this off because it's an important subject. Every trader goes through drawdowns, and we did it in the trading room. Now, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing, once you get into a drawdown and you feel like you're stuck in a rut, one thing you can do is to reduce your position size. So you don't necessarily reduce your position size straight away. It's only once you feel like, okay, I feel a bit stuck here, and psychologically you might be feeling it as well, and so you might as well reduce your position size, even if you're not feeling it psychologically, because at least whilst you're, for whatever reason, your trading strategy or just your overall approach is not in sync with the market, so to speak, you might as well reduce position size. So that's the first thing you can do. So because you don't want to stop trading completely, because the moment you stop trading, then you miss out on future opportunities. So reduce your position size, so that if you are feeling it emotionally, then you'll feel it less because your position sizes are smaller. And if you continue to lose, you're not losing at quite the same degree. So that's one thing you can do. But one thing you must also do is, once you start to see the equity pick up, then you need to increase your position size again. Once you feel ready, of course, but you don't necessarily want to wait until it gets all the way up here, because that could take a lot longer. I've drawn that on way too early. Could take way over here. So now, don't get me wrong, drawdowns can take a while to come out of, and that's okay. But yeah, so you can, once you feel like your confidence is rising again, you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm back in sync with the markets, then you can increase your position size. So that's the first thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do when you're in a drawdown is what we call keeping the scoreboard ticking over. In rugby terms, I'm using rugby terms there. And what I mean by that is, sometimes when you're trading fairly freely, if I use myself as an analogy, an example here, then if I'm trading fairly freely, then I'll sometimes get trades which might be a setup, let's say on a daily chart. Let's say it's a swing trade. It's a setup on a daily chart, but I really quite like, let's say, the monthly chart. So I've got a setup, but I'm seeing something on the monthly chart. So on the daily chart, the setup has a specific target. Let's say it's here to up to here. But when I'm trading freely, I might actually ignore that target and think, oh, I can see something else going on the monthly. I'm going to see if I can run that further. But when you're in drawdown, a nice way to help you get out of drawdown is to just get that scoreboard ticking over and say, okay, I've got a setup based on the daily chart. I'm going to bank my profits based on the daily chart. There'll still be decent enough profits with designated targets, but I'm not going to look at those trades where I'm going to try and keep running them. Because when you get into those trades where, even if you bank half, but if the other half rolls over and stops you out, even at break even, it's still a bit of a slog to get the equity up, because yes, you've banked half, but then if the next trade's a loser, you know where I'm coming from. So that's another thing that you can do, is just keep that scoreboard ticking over. Don't look for the super big runs. Just get back into the rhythm of things and looking at normalized targets based on the time frame you're trading. And I guess the other part of all this, I mean, there's lots of things you can do when it comes to this, but I'm already nearly 5 minutes in. But and that is the emotional side of things, fear. So there's no point in trading with fear at this point. So you have to sort your head out. So if you're trading with fear, what you're going to do is you're going to bank your profits too soon. You're going to move your stops up too soon to get them to break even, which then could mean that price you get stopped out only to see price go much higher. In fact, there was a trade like that. I was in the trade very much like that today. It looked like it was going to roll over, and some traders were getting fearful that, oh, it's going to come and stop us out. Yeah, let it do that. Don't start moving your stop up and all that. So and then you've got so banking your profits too soon, moving your stops up too aggressively, having too tight a stop as well. It's very easy to do, but you have to try and let go a little bit. I always use the analogy of, if you have a fear of flying, there's nothing you can do about it if there's something was ever going to happen. If you find that you can come to terms with your own mortality, then you'll probably won't have that same amount of fear. So fear is a big thing, and if you put too much emphasis onto a single trade, so if you put too much emphasis onto the outcome of a single trade, then fear is going to grip you. Whereas if you keep reminding yourself that it's really the next 20 to 30 trades, every time it's the next 20 to 30 trades, it's that packet of trades ahead of you, that is the outcome of those which is more important. It starts to put less significance onto the current trade. And so don't get me wrong, some individual trades can be big trades or whatever, but when you're coming out of drawdown, you just want to be just taking normalized sort of setups, not those big ones where you're looking for those super big runners. If you're not trading those, then fear is a biggie that lots of people get gripped by, and you have to spend time on yourself. You have to say, right, okay, this is what I'm in this for. It's the next 20 to 30 trades, not where I'm at right now. If I bank this profit too soon, is that going to affect my ability or my profitability over the next 20 to 30 trades? All of these things that you can do. So you think you're saving yourself by moving your stop up. You think you're saving yourself by banking that profit. All you're doing is harming your overall outcome. So get yourself asking key questions. Will I kick myself if I move my stop up too soon and it stops me out only to then go higher? Will I kick myself if I take the profit right here? Am I taking it too soon? Will I kick myself if I've got a bit too tight a stop in place here and I just get stopped out? Will I kick myself for all of these reasons? Key questions are really important here. And of course, journaling. Journaling your trades means that you're going back and you're repeatedly seeing whether you're doing things right or whether you're making the sort of mistakes I'm talking about here. So these are all just snapshots of things that you can do to help get yourself out of a drawdown. Now, drawdowns, like I've already said, you don't necessarily come out of them super quickly. Sometimes you can do, sometimes they don't. But you have to remember that every single trader has drawdowns. It's just a case of how you go about coming out of those drawdowns. That's what makes you as a trader. Yes, it's easier once you're experienced. Once you're experienced, it's a lot easier because you've been through drawdowns loads of times over the years, and you have that confidence to know that you're going to come back out the other side. But when you don't have that experience, I do appreciate it's harder, but here's a few tips for you in today's video. I shall leave that with you. No Fridays live trading, so we'll be back in touch next week.